Question about refugees. So what is the strategy? What is Germany's strategy going forward about strategy refugees?
Germany's strategy is to find ways that first and foremost, and this is a long-term effort of course.
ألمانيا عندها استراتيجيتها هي إنه عندها طريق وعندها حل على مدى البعيد.
That the people can stay in their home country.
إنه الحل الأمثل هو إنه الناس يضلون في بلادهم كحل جذري.
And in particular, it is so important to give the young people, the youth in Africa, in North Africa, a perspective that it is worthwhile to stay. And that means not only that they have a perspective for a job, but also for good education. And my greatest hope would be that the leaders in Africa listen to their own young people.
والفكرة الرئيسية اللي تفضل فيها الرئيس هي إنه الشباب وبالدعوة للحكومات بالاهتمام بالشباب والأطفال في بلدانهم وخصوصا وأعطاهم الأمل وأعطاهم نظرة جديدة عن العالم لكي يظلوا في بلدانهم وأن يهتموا بموضوع التعليم التربية والتعليم اللي هي طبعا تساعدهم في يعني أن يكون عندهم حياة أفضل في بلدانهم الأصلية بدل ما أنهم يضطروا أن يهاجروا إلى بلدان ثانية.
But there is also another point which is very important to distinguish.
لكن هناك نقطة مهمة يجب أن ننتبه إليها.
I want Germany and Europe on the whole to be very clear that those people who have to fear about their life, refugees from Syria, war regions, that they have the right to come to us and get support.
لكن برغم اللي حكاه في الأول هو بيقول إنه رسالته من ألمانيا ورسالته من أوروبا إنه الناس اللي عندها خوف على حياتها هم دائما مرحب بهم.
This is a problem what we call the asylum seekers. Asylum seekers who come out of regions where is a war, they should have the right to ask for asylum.
والناس الذين يأتون من المناطق اللي فيها نزاعات وحروب لا معهم الحق إنه يطلبوا حق الشهود.
And of course there is a third element in this kind of concept.
وهناك طرف ثالث أو هناك نقطة ثالثة في هذه الفكرة.
And that we, the Europeans, work together with the countries here in the region, in North Africa in particular, how they can cooperate so that the people stay there.
والنقطة الثالثة إنه كيف هم كحكومات أوروبية يشتغلوا مع الحكومات في المنطقة وخصوصا الحكومات شمال أفريقيا بحيث إنه يستوعبوا الناس ويضلوا في بلدانهم الأصلية.
Because it's quite clear, Europe, Germany can't take on board all the people who have a very bad life or are concerned about their future. They can't take them on board, therefore there has to be a limitation because we can't adapt to all of these big numbers. But there is a solution on the one hand improvement of perspectives for the people in their home country. On the other hand, cooperating with the region, mostly in North Africa, so that the numbers of people trying to come to Europe is limited at the end.
في انتقادات لألمانيا أنه راح تدخل اللاجئين في مقابل صعب الإرهاب.
Her question is that the criticism that Germany probably has faced internally is that although once they welcomed the refugees, there is a rise of extremism or a rise of terrorism or criminal acts.
We have, as not too many countries, set up a plan. We call it the federal government's sustainability strategy, where we try to implement our goals for meeting the goals of the 2030 agenda and the Paris Agreement.
عندهم استراتيجية على المستوى الاتحادي هم فيدرالية زي ما عارف أحمد. عندهم استراتيجية أطلقوها على مستوى اتحادي من أجل تحقيق الأهداف ومن أجل محاربة التغيير المناخي أو من أجل مواجهة التغيير المناخي.
A cornerstone of our strategy in Germany is to get rid of fossil fuels and move to renewable energy.
ومن بين أساسيات هذه الاستراتيجية هي أن التحول التدريجي والسريع إلى الطاقة النظيفة.
Und da wären wir schon beim Thema.
I can translate that one.
Es geht ja darum, um die Teilhabe. Das heißt, die Leute müssen mitgenommen werden, die Bevölkerung mitgenommen werden. Es geht um einen bestimmten Lebensstil, den viele verteidigen. In Deutschland eine Menge SUVs fahren umeinander. Was kann die Regierung tun? Überhaupt, dass die Menschen ein bisschen davon wieder Abstand nehmen und überhaupt so ein bisschen in die andere Richtung gehen. Geht das überhaupt?
في ألمانيا والناس بيحبوا سياراتهم وهذا طبعا يعطي صعوبة أو للحكومة الألمانية في التحول إلى الطاقة النظيفة.
Also hier können wir, erste Antwort, ein bisschen von Shaya lernen. Eine Information, Regierungsgekommen, wo sie Lehrer, Unternehmer, Wissenschaftlerinnen in ein Panel bringen und vor einem Podium, Publikum die Dinge diskutieren.
أول شيء احنا ممكن نتعلم كثيرا من الشارقة. بحيث انه مثلا في تنظيم منتدى مثل هذا انه بيساعد في الحوار على موضوع السستينبل جولز، الحوار على موضوع الطاقه النظيفه، التفاعل مع الجمهور والتفاعل مع الببليك من اجل يعني الحديث كمجموعه مش بس كحكومه. فهذه مهمه جدا ان نقتصر.
To answer this question, still we need to know that Germany's government is, and where I see a missing link in Germany, that not too much is discussed between federal government, state government and municipalities how to implement their strategy. And the second kind of deficit is that we even have to bring the government, apartments under one chapeau, because there is not yet a very consistent, comprehensive approach.
التحديين الرئيسيين اللي عندهم في ألمانيا الأول إنه هم دولة فيدرالية مثل ما عارفين، ففي الاتحادي في المحلي وفي مستوى البلديات، فعشان يصير في حوار ما بين هالطبقات صعب جدا، ولذلك تطبيق استراتيجية الحكومة عم بيواجه تحديات. والشيء الثاني انه حتى على المستوى الاتحادي الحكومه انه الديبارتمنت يتكلموا مع بعض عم بيواجهوا بعض المشاكل.
And I was very impressed by the teacher here.
كنت كثير انا معجب بالاستاذه.
How she discussed how it could be done and told the audience a teacher has to collect and generalize. But even a teacher has not everything, so we have to make a communicative effort which starts at teaching, but also moves through the whole of society.
فهو كان معجب جدا بتجربة الأستاذة حنان حروب اللي فازت بجائزة أفضل معلمة، لأنه حكت إنه دور المعلم مش فقط المعلومات، لكن إعادة تفعيل أو إعادة التفاعل مع الطلاب بحيث هم يفهموا المعلومات بطريقتهم. لذلك بتعطي جيل واعي بهالمواضيع.
In my speech, I mentioned the cities, municipalities as laboratories for finding out the way forward. And I'm serious, this can be done. I was in Freiburg, the city in Baden-Württemberg, who has what we call a green mayor. So he's in particular engaged and ambitious. But cities are closer to the people. And at the end, this whole, implementation of sustainability depends how it can reach out to the ordinary individual citizen.
This is a very good idea. الفكرة إنه فكرته هو إنه لما يكون عندك بلد اتحادي أو فيدرالي مثل ألمانيا تبتدي من البلديات كمختبرات لتطبيق استراتيجية استراتيجية التحول للطاقة النظيفة إلى آخره. لماذا؟ لأن البلديات أقرب من الناس، طبعا الحوار بيكون أسهل، بيكون تفاعل معهم أقرب، فممكن يكونوا هم مختبرات بعدين تنتقل فيه إلى الامتحان.
Well, I'm now not in detail informed,
لا أعرف التفاصيل.
but what I have understood, not least from the short meetings with the Shire officials, that they have a plan, a concept, how to implement the Paris Agreement and the 2030 agenda. And this is not least based on better communication, government communication.
ممتاز. هو ما عنده تفاصيل على استراتيجية الإمارات للتحول أو التنمية المستدامة، لكن اللي فهمه من خلال حواره اليوم، خلال حواره مع بعض المختصين وبعض المسؤولين، إنه هناك خطة، وأهم بداية اللي هو عم بيصير اليوم إنه هناك في تواصل، بيحاولوا إنه يتواصلوا مع الجمهور على هذا الموضوع.
And I want to add that I was impressed about this really deep thinking about the role of technology, first, and second, I was really surprised to see so many women at the panel. And I do think that not least in the Arab world, it is important that women take on board this kind of issue.
هو كان معجب ومتفاجئ انه كان في حديث كثير ومعمق عن دور التكنولوجيا في التنمية المستدامة في المستقبل، واهم شيء كان معجب ومفاجئ انه كان عدد النساء اللي كانوا على في الجلسات الحوارية.
There is a concern, of course, and I mentioned it in my speech, that this kind of populism, backward to nationalism and economic nationalism may really be a counterproductive, say, moment in history. But I, at the end, trust in the American people, in the societies of the world, that at the end this agenda on the whole will stay in place and gets forward. I have somehow no doubt about it, because when I listen to my own people in Germany, to the business community, slowly but steadily they have understood that there's a need for decarbonizing the economic process. And the Americans are not less intelligent than Germans or Europeans. So the societies will stay course despite of this kind of debate.
سؤاله كان هل صعود المشاعر الشعبوية في انتخابات أمريكية مثلا في بعض الدول الأوروبية هل حيأثر على مسيرة التنمية المستدامة؟ هو طبعا جوابه متوقع إنه هاي المشاعر مثل هاي مش لا تفيدنا في التقدم للأمام، بالعكس ترجعنا لورا. هو بس هو يعتقد إنه هاي حتكون مرحلة مؤقتة، وبعدين الناس حتفهم إنه العمل الموحد سواء على المستوى الحكومي أو المستوى الشعبي هو اللي حيخلينا نتقدم. Which was all about mobilizing the population, government departments, and the leadership level to mobilize population to reignite the love of reading and the importance of knowledge. This year is about the year of giving. It's giving, volunteering, giving your time. Yes. And it has actually echoed very well with a lot of people inside the country and outside, where you have the government from all different levels mobilizing the entire country for people to give their time, give money, give expertise for people who need here in the UAE and outside. His question is, which he asked yesterday, somebody was mentioned, Jeffrey Sachs, he mentioned that everybody who comes to Sharjah, like yourself, needs to become an ambassador for something like this, because if every country has a year of giving or years of giving, they probably have less wars, less problems, less conflicts, because the majority of people want to have peace. Maybe governments not much, but the majority of the population, they want to have peace, they want to. So do you think this is an applicable initiative where people like yourself, Your Excellency, to be speaking about the year of giving, or to be an ambassador about it, advocating about it in Germany, in Europe?
Well, I must tell you, of course. at the end, I myself hope for a kind of movement, and that relates to the question of the gentleman here, that at the end in societies there are forces, people, initiatives who pick up this issue, which at the end will survive kind of setback in terms of nationalism and so on. And I myself, to be honest, I try to give my best also in this regard. I was, by accident or by chance, I was a member of the high-level panel for the United Nations, which prepared the Sustainable Development Goals. And in this meeting, I also understood that to have a nice plan is not good enough. You need to communicate the plan. You need to, say, reach out to the civil society, but also let the civil society say, have contact with governments. They need to listen to civil society, because my experience is that many good ideas are there in civil society. Government has to listen, has to find their own judgment, and together we will manage this huge challenge.
هو بيوافق طبعا الفكرة انه هذه الفكرة مهمة جدا، وانه يتمنى انه يشوفها في مناطق اخرى، وهو طبعا من الناس اللي يعني مشجعين موضوع انه الناس افراد المجتمع او فئات المجتمع، سواء المجتمع المدني سواء القطاع الخاص سواء الافراد العاديين، انه هم يكونوا جزء من حركة الخير، وجزء من انه يكون في تغيير ايجابي على المستوى التنمية المستدامة.
It is my judgment that at the end, if you take the situation of the people's life today, never before so many people lived in kind of relatively good situations. But in the last year, and this is also the outcome of globalization, which, for instance, of course, with China, brought almost 500 million people out of extreme poverty. Still, there's too much of poverty, and since long it was clear that globalization needs to be shaped, because globalization by itself doesn't produce good lives for all the people. So you need to have a policy where you fight poverty, where you fight climate change, where you also pay attention that the big companies pay their fair share of taxes in the countries where they operate, for instance in Africa. All these are only examples. You need to shape globalization. It's not a process which by itself produces good things. But now we could experience.
This is going to be a long one. I give them a brief one. So you go ahead.
Do you envision this as like a global regulation of sorts?
Yeah, I would be careful with regulation. I would say a global process of cooperation, have rules which are agreed and then implemented. That needs to be not to be forgotten, even through this now possibly phase of a couple of years of setback.
Great, thank you.